So this is my look at the Sleeper's Tomb Mercenary tasks. And my perspective here is that you don't want to do splitting or difficult pulls. Maybe you're a mage where you can handle the singles, you're geared up, you've got the AAs, but it's you don't want to have to spend your time trying to, split C and Viz mobs and the whole bit. So that's my focus. What are the spawns where we can just do singles, where we can sit, let them respawn, do our singles, and be done with the mercenary tasks? You're just here to get in and get out. Well, of course, first get the first partisan task, and you're going to look for your Unbroken Gargoyle Tooth and your intact Golem Core, which can drop off of these mobs or any of the golems. I'm using my DPS mode, which basically means I'm using life taps and 4 dots. And I am weaving my dots in between my life taps. I start to pull with my two-handed slash out. These mobs in Sleeper's Tomb hit hard. There are SKs who handle these easily. I'm probably not quite that geared up yet. So if I don't pay attention, I can go down. In fact, in one of the later fights, you'll see me go purple, I believe, and then pop back up, and I'm able to pull it off. But I probably need to take these a little more seriously, use more discs. Here's the stats for the fights, for what it's worth. You can see I break out my heals, Shadow Knights. We've got a lot of areas of healing, and you can see how much and how valuable each of those are. So next we're going to go to the Undeads. Just be careful. There are C and Viz mobs as you go occasionally, but for the most part, if you hug the walls and you con mobs, you should have no problem. I haven't run into C and Viz wyverns yet, other than there is a name that will spawn. So if you run into one, it's your bad luck. Just be careful and you won't have a problem. Anyway, so this is after we've got up to the second floor using whatever method you want to use. For me personally, I hit Harm Shield, I run up, and then I feign death, Death's Effigy, to drop aggro, and I'm up. So this is the first little hallway. You're going to go down, you're going to turn left to the door. The door will open to the library with the wyverns. Go ahead and con just to make sure that they don't see and Viz. Have not run into too many see and Viz wyverns yet. And this is where you'll see a name spawn occasionally. And you always have to be a little careful because there are names that will be left up in here. So once you go past the wyverns, you're going to switch to Invis to Undead. And here are the specters you want to kill. But we're going to skip these first spawns because they are difficult to split. Here's a name somebody killed. You can't snare them. You can't use Rest the Dead or Calm or Lull or any of the other techniques. They're unaffected by that. And if you pull in one of those other spawns where you get 4 specters, they don't tend to split easily. They sort of pack together. They'll come up and then they'll leave. So you can split them. I've done them, but it's work. And what we're trying to do is avoid work here. This is for your mage who just wants to pull and kill. So in this case, I'm buffing up. Sorry for that. That is the downside of the DPS mode where I don't have my buffs fully memmed in advance. I have my lazy man style that I use a lot, and I'm pretty happy with that. I've got the cleric up. I'm going to switch to my DPS merc now. So I won't be using a cleric on this fight that's coming up, and I didn't use a cleric on the earlier fight. This is actually my final 2 kills to get the mercenary tasks finished, but I'm showing you in slightly out of order. So we're just waiting for Stormwall Stance to pop. And these fights can be tough enough that it's nice to have that extra hit point base so you can constantly be tapping up to that. It gives you a little more room. healing room, that is. I memmed my full spell lines. I pull with power. It didn't stick this time, so I probably recast it to get that 2-minute AC buff. And here I'm interweaving in my dots. I am in two-handed mode. I'll stay two-handed mode for most of these fights. I think in the one against the Drakeen that'll come up, I do switch to one-hander at one point. I'm not positive about that. But I go purple, pop back up, and of course, you know, you're panicking a little bit there because you haven't handled the fight appropriately. When you go that far down, that's just a little too risky. As soon as you kill this one, then you would kill the second one. And that's the same in all the cases, except for the drakes. You can single all of them, and you can basically pull 4 in a row, wait for them to respawn, and they respawn fairly quick. About the time you finish the 4th one, you should be getting respawn on the drakes. I think you have to kill 7 drakes. If you get a lonely drake, or lonely drakeen, then you have the chance of getting the named. And it's a beautiful dragon. I mean, it's really fun. I spawned it by accident the first time and sort of trapped myself in the room I was at because that big-ass named dragon was wandering back and forth. So here we're checking, you know, to make sure nothing's seeing viz. A lot of times I won't actually do all the checking because I have Death's Effigy. I can just run past. And if something happens to see in viz, then I'll just fade it off. There's a lot of collects down here, too, that you can get. Whether you need them yourself or you want to sell them or whatever. So we're going to come up in here, and here's the drakes. They're just guarding this statue, and I've not had any problem with singling them. So I will just pull one and then kill it, and then pull the next and kill it until I've killed as many drakes as I need. And again, if you have a chance of spawning a lonely drakeen, the lonely drakeen is the trigger mob for the named. So be aware of that and deal with it accordingly. This would be a nice little spawn for somebody who wants to set up and just kill mobs in a fairly easy, safe spot, and then with the possibility of a named. So this would be a nice little group spot. And there I got down, or almost down. There it is, purple. Yeah, this is close as you get. This is where having a cleric merc instead of a rogue merc might pay off a little bit. But it is nice to have bond so that even if I'm down, I'm still healing up. Or if I have to fade, I have something to heal up. Anyways, final stats for the fight. I hope this is a little helpful to somebody else. It's a quick and easy way to do your mercenary tasks in Sleeper's Tomb. Talk to you guys later. Bye.